Now I'm sure we all remember chocolate bars over the years and how they've changed, not just in appearance, but some have completely different names and others have completely disappeared. Some of it was likely down to corporate meddling in an attempt to chase marketing trends, but if we're honest with ourselves, sometimes it's just the right time to consider what an ever-changing customer base really likes the best. Whatever the reasons were for those changes, we're going to go ahead now and take a nostalgic look at chocolate bars how they used to be, with 10 examples of chocky bars from decades past, and for a bit of extra fun we'll be doing it in a quiz format, so you'll get a chance to guess what each one is before the branding gradually appears on the screen. After the quiz there'll be more memories with a few of your featured comments on the subject, and then a bit of vintage TV advert nostalgia to finish up with. Now I really wanted to show you an example of an antique chocolate bar wrapper on camera, but it turns out they're quite hard to get hold of. Having said that, I did recently stumble across an old Treets wrapper near a bush that the local council had excavated, so I can show you the pictures that I took of that. Now I've got that out of my system, let's go ahead and get on with the quiz. Number 1. A soft, indulgent treat traditionally loved by animated animals and promoted by a certain cartoon bunny girl. Cadbury's Caramel. Thick milk chocolate that melts into a dreamy caramel centre, albeit now with an updated recipe and of course a lot smaller, but still a classic favourite. And let's not forget that good advice that we were given in those original adverts.
Take it easy with Cadbury's Caramel.
Number 2. Packed with peanuts, this chocolate bar really satisfies. Marathon, or Snickers if you're under 40, was and still is a delicious mix of peanuts, nougat and caramel coated in a layer of milk chocolate. The name was changed to Snickers in 1990, and you can watch one of the TV adverts at the end of this video, which were an attempt to ease public outrage over the name change. Most of us still have a strong opinion on this one. Go ahead and let us know what yours is in the comments. Number 3. Thin, pale, creamy chunks of buttery tasting chocolate. Caramac, kind of like a Milky Bar but not quite. It was a milky, caramel flavoured treat that some say was a little bit too sickly. It also came in a buttons form, which I'd forgotten about, and just looking at this picture is making my mouth water, so I for one am definitely a fan. Number 4. This one often divides opinion, and it's been known to trigger a love it or hate it response. Bounty, still around today, at least in its milk chocolate form. The dark chocolate version is long gone, sadly. Soft, moist, shredded coconut wrapped in a layer of delicious milk chocolate. Number 5. Traditionally available in mint, orange and chocolate varieties, this is one to eat when you're feeling bubbly. Aero, the chocolate bar that's filled with air bubbles, resulting in a luxurious, velvety texture. Considering it's probably about 30% air, you'd think this one would be a marketing dud, but it's a staple favourite that's still around today, just in a slightly different form with smaller, rounder chunks. Some might prefer that, but for me, those original, longer chunks will always be my favourite. Number 6. Not strictly a bar of chocolate, but still a childhood chocky favourite. Smarties, delightful little discs of chocolate coated in sugary coloured shells. At some point the cardboard tubes with the plastic end caps that we used to love as kids were changed to a folded cardboard hexagon design. Still feels like a sad loss today, and do you remember those random letters that were embossed into the end caps? What did those mean anyway? Number 7. As they say in the Old West, get off your horse and drink your milk. Or in this case, eat your milk. Milky Bar, the thin, white chocolate bar that's squarely aimed at kids, and for a long time was advertised by children acting as characters from an Old West cowboy film. Kind of like Bugsy Malone, but with the gangsters swapped out for cowboys. And then there's that unforgettable line from the Milky Bar kid himself.
The Milky Bars are on me!
Number 8. Another milky one this, only it isn't white like the last one. Dairy milk, which has been quite controversial in recent years with the sale of the original company and changes in recipes and bar sizes in order to increase profits while still charging us more money. And then there's the change from the original angular chunky pieces to the thinner, more curvy pieces. Not that I'm saying that they've cut corners, of course, but what do you think? Is there room for criticism, or are we all just being a bit too paranoid? Number 9. Ooh, it's like Countdown on Channel 4. Stick a letter in each empty box and you'll have the 2-word name of this mouth-watering chocolate bar. Double Decker. A layer of white chewy nougat on a chocolatey crispy biscuit base smothered with a layer of milk chocolate. This is one of my favourites, and although it's kind of shrunk in recent years, like a lot of our favourites have, you still can't beat that delicious nougat and crispy biscuit combination. Number 10. A very memorable advert jingle with this one telling us that we were all a little bit mental. Cadbury's Fruit and Nut, crushed almonds and dried grapes, or raisins if you prefer, embedded in milk chocolate, and that classic advert jingle that you're bound to remember if you're over 40.
Everyone's a fruit and a nut case.
The first of 2 honourable mentions, and based on the picture of the king's blackbirds in a pie, this packet may well have contained 4 and 20 separate pieces of chocolate. Cadbury's Buttons, a staple for kids growing up since the 1960s and still going strong today, although it's a much less fun looking packet now. I can personally recommend sticking 2 buttons together back to back for a more intense chocolate hit, but if you want really intense, how about a massive bag of giant chocolate buttons? One for the big kids this, I think. Honourable mention number 2, and it's another that's been around since the 60s with a combination of creaminess and crunchiness. Nestlé Dairy Crunch, which as described on their website offers a simple crunchy combination of creamy chocolate and light airy crispy cereals. This one reminds me of the chocolate bar Rice Krispie cakes we used to make at home, but in a solid bar form, and in an unusual turn I think the modern version is more interesting than the original, with the chunks arranged in randomly angular patterns and the word crunch embossed into the bar. Fabulous. I reached out on social media for your memories and thoughts about chocolate bars from the past, and here's what a few of you had to say. From the Retro Steve UK Facebook page, David Griffiths mentions selection boxes at Christmas which presented the dilemma of whether to start with your favourites or eat the naff ones first and save the best till last. Either way, there was usually a game on the back of the box to keep him busy. Beretsky says Christmas wouldn't be Christmas without one of those old Cadbury's dairy milk dispensers. My wife had one of those, but she lost interest when the chocolate ran out. Apparently they made good money boxes though. Brett also shared some memories of the Kit Kat vending machine in his school corridor. Paul Pablo Hines' favourite chocolate bar of all time was the Star Bar, which luckily is still being made, and he points out the similarity between those and the Cadbury's Boost, with the main difference being the peanuts in the Star Bar. He also wants to bring back Cabana and Nutty bars, which is a sentiment echoed by Frank Flynn, who also loved the Rowntree's Cabana. Stacey Draper laments the loss of her 2 favourite bars recently, Caramac and Dark Bounty, and also misses the Cadbury's Dream, which looks a lot like a chunky Milky Bar, and she was recently pleased to see Cadbury's Top Deck making a comeback too after being discontinued in 1993. Thomas Cook loved the white opal fruits. I've looked into this and apparently these were opal mints, which were later rebranded to Pacers. Definitely another lost gem, along with the similarly minty Splicer bar from Rowntree. His other favourites include milk chocolate bounties, marathons and the banana flavoured toffos. Over on Bluesky Social, Cleo misses when double-deckers had raisins in the base and the top had a slight coffee taste to it. She'd also like to see the return of Secret, Pyramint, Nutcracker and Spira, as long as they're kept to the original recipes, and she posted pictures of each of these. On Mastodon, David Wilkins definitely finds it hard to get used to Marathon being Snickers now, even after 30 years. He was a big fan of Curly Whirly and doesn't know if it was ever discontinued, as at some point it did become less prominent. Well David, I can confirm Tesco are currently selling a 4-pack of Curly Whirlies for £1.40, so they're still alive and well. From the community post section of my YouTube channel, Matty Foster brings up the Milk Tray chocolate bar, which incorporated some of the main Milk Tray chocolates into a single bar. He also reminisces about sweets that made you feel like a grown-up, like candied tobacco and Old Jamaica rum and raisin chocolate. JPV5139 mentioned Cadbury's Gambit, which was a mix of plain and dark chocolate similar to the more recent Cadbury's Dark Milk, and JPV also has some sketchy memories of the TV advert too. JP also brings up the Marathon and Snickers debacle, and reminds us about those old chocolate vending machines from back when chocolate bars used to be wrapped in thin silver foil. It's funny how something as simple as tin foil can feel so nostalgic. El Ritmo mentions a lot of different classic bars, and you can read about them in his comment on screen here, but the one that sticks out for me is the Fry's 5 Centers, a companion bar to the Fry's Peppermint Cream, which was also lush. This one featured 5 different fruit-flavoured creams encased in rich, dark chocolate shells, and it was discontinued in 1992. Always one of my sorely missed favourites, that one. And finally, Sam M brings up the aforementioned Nutty Bar again, but crucially also mentions the Texan, chewy nugget covered in a thin coating of milk chocolate. This one should probably have made the top 10 list for this video, so I'll bung it in the next one. I remember struggling to chew my way through these, although I have to admit they were delicious. I just remember getting them at Christmas, included in my chocolate selection packs, and it was always the one that I'd leave till the end. If you have any classic Chocky Bar memories to share, or if your favourites weren't on this list, go ahead and make your presence felt in the comments section. And if you'd like to be featured in a future retrospectives video, follow me on my various social media platforms, where I'll be asking for your comments whenever I'm working on something new. You'll find all the links in the video description. We'll finish up now with some vintage TV advert nostalgia, but first I'd like to thank everyone who shared their comments, to thank you for liking and subscribing, and of course to thank you all for watching Retrospectives.
When you're working hard and feel a bit peckish, stick out your hand for a Cadbury's double-decker. Under that thick Cadbury milk chocolate there's a unique double filling. A crispy, crunchy downstairs mingling with a chewy, rather satisfying top deck. So when you're peckish, catch a Cadbury's double-decker, the double-filling bar for the double-filling feeling.
Everyone's a fruit and a nutcase. It really is a must for modest dancers. The nuts are so nutritious, the fruit is so fruititious, and connoisseurs of chocolate pronounce it quite delicious. Everyone's a fruit and a nutcase. It contains a special F&N ingredient. For healthy recreation, what a combination. Cadbury's fruit and nut. Good tune, isn't it?
Trow, Texan!
Just let me finish this here Texan bar, and I'll be happy to oblige. Time sure goes slow when you're chewing a Texan bar. My ma always said I ought to be on the stage. Texan sure is a mighty chew.
Daylight come and we won't go home. Coconut, caramel, cherries and milk chocolate. Daylight come and we won't go home. Cabana, 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 Cabana. Daylight come and we won't go home.
Hey, Mr. B, why are you buzzing around? Haven't you heard of Cadbury's Caramel? See, as the creamy tasting Cadbury's milk chocolate melts with that dreamy caramel. You just have to take everything really easy. Oh, looks like someone else could do with some. Take it easy with Cadbury's Caramel.
One chunk.
Lead to another.
One chunk.
One chunk leads to another.
It's a glass in the heart. In every half pound. One chunk.
One chunk leads to another chunk. One chunk leads to another.
It's never been bigger.
Never been better.
New Marathon's got more peanuts. It's never been bigger.
Never been better.
New Marathon's got more chocolates. Never been bigger.
Never been better.
New Marathon's now a bigger bite. New Marathon, a
Snickers, how you say, Snickers bar.
Cafe. There's one down the road. Now, you go out here, you take a right and...
In the spirit of international understanding, Marathon has changed its name to Snickers. It's still packed with peanuts and still covered with the smoothest milk chocolate. But now, for Marathon, say Snickers.
Excusez-moi, have you got the Snickers?
No, love. It's just the way I walk.
Snickers. All that's changed is the name.
Et vous pouvez vous taire, hein?
Now the man they call the sheriff was bad beyond belief, mean as a rattlesnake, low down dirty thief. So the town called for help, and along came
Me! It's the Milky Bar Kid!
The Milky Bar Kid is strong and tough, and only the best is good enough. The creamiest milk, the whitest bar, the good taste that's in Milky Bar.
The Milky Bars are on me!
Milky Bar so creamy white, that's a Milky Bar.